So looking for conflicts of interest, the media seizing upon a false report, it was not true, of a security clearance for President-elect Donald Trump's children. This is just the beginning, my friends. Trump's 3 adult children will be taking over the Trump Organization come January, and critics are questioning if this can be done legally. Here now is Meredith McGehee of Campaign Legal Center and Charles Ortel, financial whistleblower. Thanks to both of you for joining us. So, Meredith, you do highlight some problems that the Trump family and Donald Trump could get into with trying to go forward with this idea. He's even said, I'm going to put the business in blind trust, the kids are going to manage it, but I'm going to have nothing to do with it. You suggest that he sell his interest in the company to them. Why?
Well, for a couple of reasons. First of all, it just takes this off the table. He doesn't need this distraction. He has a big job ahead of him in any case. He needs to bring the country together. He needs to make sure that those people who did not vote for him at least can have some modicum of trust about the motivations behind his actions and the actions of his company through his children.
Yeah.
But there's also a question, too, of he is the legal owner of this business. If the businesses, by some happenstance, ran afoul of the law or had dealings with foreign businesses, he could actually find himself in legal trouble even though he was not the one actually running the business. So it's actually both for his protection as well as obviously trying to build public confidence in the motivations behind these decisions.
You know, Charles, you and I talked about the fact with the Clinton Foundation that was just wrought with all kinds of problems, and ultimately so many people said that that was one of the main reasons why they couldn't vote for her. They saw the corruption in there. We would not have been satisfied had they said we're going to turn the whole thing over to Chelsea and have nothing to do with it. What about the idea of putting an independent auditor in place, somebody that already doesn't like the Trumps? What about Elizabeth Warren type? And you say that this person will do audits all the time of the business dealings and make sure that it's in compliance. I mean, that's not a bad idea. What do you think? It's my idea, remember. So
I'll remember it's your idea, and I'll sort of forgive the suggestion that Elizabeth Warren should look at anything having to do with business. But,
okay.
I
said Elizabeth Warren type.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I think the basic structure that might work here is a blind trust. Where Mr. Trump would have to put all of his assets into a blind trust, and then the trustees would independently decide what other assets to purchase with whatever he'd given them. Involving his children in the mix of there, I think, is problematic for many reasons. It's also problematic if they're going to be actively involved now through the transition. So there is a procedure here. I think you need more than just an independent auditor. I think you need actual trustees really overseeing these assets.
But Meredith, I mean, is that fair? It's all of these children's career. You know, I mean, they aren't figureheads in this company. They really run it. They have poured their life into it. They're not the ones that were elected. They're adults. At the same time, you can see anytime he makes some sort of deal with Scotland, he's got a property there, everyone's going to be looking at it and saying, are you benefiting them? Are you tampering with the currency to benefit your children? What about that?
Exactly. I think you've hit the nail on the head. This is a headache that our country, nor does President-elect Donald Trump, need. I think Charles is absolutely right. Look, the best answer here is one of 2 options, a blind trust or divestment. And I would note that that has been the standard practice for decades here. Now, the American people understood that Donald Trump is a businessman, and so we have to start with that as the basis. Now the question is, when you run for the most powerful office, not only in the land here, but in the world, how do you ensure that the appropriate protections are in place, both for the president-elect and for the country? So certainly I think the question of the foreign holdings is the most troubling. A blind trust with an independent person running that trust is by far the best answer.
Yeah.
If he doesn't do that, certainly selling the interests. But I have to say, Melissa, I'm not a big fan of your independent auditor.
Okay.
Because I think there are other mechanisms that are proven.
Okay. Thanks. You're both so thoughtful. Thank you. I hope you'll come back. Thank you.